Alright, so quick change of your radiator hose on an M52 engine. Pretty straightforward job, just a bit messy. First thing you're gonna do, get yourself a little flathead, and you're gonna go behind this and pry it out, and it's gonna like come off like that. It's a similar example right here. You can see this one, you just pry it off. You can see how it comes out. Don't do it too hard because they like to fly out. That's basically what holds the hose in place. This right here, I have a worm clamp because this hose failed. Like all of them are gonna fail. So I have a worm clamp here, but your hose is gonna have a bit of a different type of clamp that's gonna be a pain in the ass to do. So if you're doing this job, I recommend you get a new one of these because you're gonna destroy the old one most likely. Next thing is, after you pull this out and make sure it's all the way out, you know you want to see the tabs on the end, and the same on the other side. Just make sure it's out. You get a flathead and you start prying it out. Go slowly because if it shoots out, it's gonna fucking pour coolant all over the engine. First thing is, you take this one off and you're gonna see it's gonna start to seep a little. You're gonna get a little bottle or something like this and you catch a bit of it so it doesn't fall all on the ground like it did for me. So little by little you're gonna pull it out. So I already pulled out to this point, just let it a little bit that's leaking out. So I'm gonna move it out a bit more, of course not with the camera, and see if it drains more. You can see that there are a little stream of water. That's where you wanna go little by little, drain it out, so when the bottle gets filled up, you can put it back in and then get another bottle so you can, because if not, you're gonna get all that coolant on the top of your belt and everything. You're gonna make a mess. So little by little, you wanna drain that whole hose out. See, took the bottle out, still the hose is not drained, but you see it is close and I can take this out and then put it inside that empty bottle that I have there and then have it there to fill it up again. If you just open that damn hose, this bottle is not gonna be anywhere near enough to catch all the coolant that's gonna come out. So that's why I say little by little, don't rush it. Also make sure you're doing this on a cold engine. This thing is dead cold after sitting for like 12 hours. If you do this on a hot engine, you're gonna convert your finger from skin to bones, basically. And the whole system is gonna be pressurized and it's gonna shoot coolant everywhere. So don't do it. First thing, just wait to know if it's pressurized or not, you take that out. And then you're gonna see, if you hear any noises, don't even bother, just let it sit. So I already drained out this part. So we're gonna go and take this off, just in case, because remember this is lower than this also, it might have coolant in there. So we're gonna take this one off and drain it, and then we're gonna have to take that bottom one off and drain anything that's there. There's a bunch of connections to this hose, which is why it is so primordial for you to replace it, because if that fails, your whole cooling system is trash and you're gonna be stranded. And this is one of the reasons why I'm telling you to replace the damn thing. I barely touched it and the whole nipple just fell off. This nipple right here. So you can already tell that over time this whole thing is gonna fall apart. Also, this is a pain in the ass to take out, so be careful with it. This down here just threw water all over my cooling system, so definitely first do this one and then the one in the bottom. I'm gonna give you a nice tip. You see this hose down here? Basically, when you pull it out, it's gonna throw coolant everywhere, and you're not gonna be able to put a bottle on it. Basically, what you do is when you bolt this too, you keep this one down here connected, and then angle this hose, this upper radiator hose, down like this. So then the level of water is gonna get up to the neck of the radiator hose, and you can actually put a bottle on the end and drain this hose out. Because if not, this hose is gonna make a huge mess like it did on my car. You can see how the level in the hose is lower than the hose itself. That's what you want. Of course, don't bring it down too much because then it's gonna. So you're gonna hold it there, and then you can put your new hose in place now. Alright, so I just plug the hose on this, so we're safe to go. One tip, when you're taking out the upper hose, do you see the stuff right here? You can use a screwdriver, and you can go and use the screwdriver and the flathead to pry against this hose and pull it out. There you go. Almost made a fucking mess. But that's how it goes. And then make sure to clean the mating surface on the oil filter housing, so it seals nice and everything. You can see your new hose is most likely gonna come with a bit of silicone on the O-rings, like mine did, so it sits nicely and everything. This side is in, so just make sure it is tight there and solid. It can take a bit of twisting and stuff like that. Just take it easy in the hose, and then we're gonna put this side on. It's a new hose, so it's gonna be super hard. Just go easy on it. Also be very careful, because if you break this side of the radiator, you're basically replacing the entire radiator. Mine is a new one, so I don't have to really worry about that. But if yours is old, well, if your hose failed, this radiator is probably bad too, so you should replace it anyway. Hose is in. Just make sure you have this lifted up so it goes in place. And then you put this sucker in here, worm clamp in. This goes pressed down. and you're good to go. Now let's go and fill up the cooling system and let's do the bleeding procedure. You want to fill it up onto the little bar that's there in the reservoir. Comes up. Doesn't matter if you really overfill it because your cooling system is for sure full of air right now. So you're gonna have plenty of time to take all that air out. This is reused coolant, so you don't want to go to the bottom of the bottle because that's where all the corrode and crap stays. I'm gonna go basically leave it like this and go inside the car right now. Alright, so the bleed procedure, nothing too hard about it. Put your key in the ignition, touch the ignition on, then you're gonna get the AC and put it to 84 degrees, which is the highest that it goes. You wanna make sure it is on only one bar. You can turn off your screen, you don't need all of that. Alright. So then you're gonna go and hold your foot on the brake. It's gonna take about maybe 10-15 seconds. You're gonna hear the pump running. I can already hear it. So let's go to the front. You're not gonna see it right now because it is pumping air, but as soon as it gets some water, you're gonna see it through here. There you go. That's one of the benefits of having an electric water pump, which everyone hates in the M52 engine, but this is one of the great things about it. Anything that you do, any repair in the cooling system, you don't even need to turn on the engine to bleed the system. You just put the pump to work, and the pump will bleed the system before you even turn on the engine. You can hear it pulling air out of all of these hoses. It's an amazing thing and it makes working on the car a lot easier. This procedure can take probably 5-10 minutes, sometimes 15 minutes because the pump goes little by little. Don't rush it. You want to get all the air that you can out of the system. You can see as the little needle is dropping. I already topped it off a few times, but you're probably gonna have to top it off a few more times. I would do the procedure at least twice, maybe 3 times, just to make sure that you don't have to top it up again. This is one thing that I basically was told by a bunch of people, but I didn't do it. By 100,000 miles, just replace your entire cooling system. This is the cap for the cooling system. You can look at the plastic. It looks like the same shitty plastic that the hose nipple was made from. Look at that. So I think by 100K, just replace the entire cooling system, and you're not gonna have to be doing this kind of crap every weekend or so. This cap probably fell. I mean, it works fine, but the O-ring is hanging on by a thread. I'm just gonna buy a new cap and a new reservoir. But it's shit like that, like this hose fails too, that hose fails, the radiator fails, the water pump fails. Just replace everything, and then you don't have to do it after a while. So this is definitely something I wasn't expecting, but shit happens. Here's the engine turned on. Basically, after you do all this thing, make sure your cap is on. You want to let it run and drive it around. Check for leaks. I don't have my other tray on, so it's going to be even easier. You want to make sure to check for any leaks or anything, because maybe something didn't get fitted right, maybe it didn't latch in place, you know, you want to be sure. But so far it's good. Not that hard of a job. Just time consuming. It's pretty good to do because just like this piece right here, it is going to float over time and it's going to leave this scramble. So good luck, hope you replace it. I hope it's good to help you out.